Dear students, once again, welcome to the video recorded lecture on commercial communication skills. And today in this class, we are going to share we are going to learn information related to a different place. So in the previous two lectures, uh, we saw what kind of language one should make use of whenever he or she visits a bank or a railway station. And today we are going to visit a new place, that is hospital. So generally we go to hospitals for two purposes. One is to get treatment for ourselves, and the other one is to visit somebody who is in the hospital taking precautions or taking medication or under the supervision of a doctor. So we go to visit our relatives who join hospital as patients for various reasons. So this is how we learn new vocabulary. By visiting new places, we have this advantage. So whenever we visit new places, as learners, as students, we should keep in our mind that every place gives us a new set of words or a new vocabulary. And in the same way, hospital also comes under this category. So whenever we go to a hospital, we come across different words. Okay, in front of each and every room, there will be an operation theater, there will be an ICU, there will be a children's ward, there will be a surgery room, so different outpatient room, so different words we come across. But when we go to a hospital, if at all we want to communicate with the people working in the hospital, we are supposed to use certain words and certain sentences and some phrases related to the hospital and the environment. So today we will see some of those things. That is, today we are going to learn vocabulary related to hospital, related to a vegetable market or a shop or a college. So depending on the availability of time. So let's start with the first one, that is hospital. So when we go to the hospital, we'll be searching for a person who is very special, or we'll be searching for a particular person. And who is that? He is none other than the doctor. So what would be the first sentence? The sentence which you're going to speak whenever you enter a hospital. If somebody asks you, why did you come here? May I help you? So what is the question or what is the answer? The question is, can I meet the doctor? So you go to a hospital with some purpose. And what is the purpose? The purpose is to meet a doctor, to take his prescription, to take his advice, take his suggestion. So, can I meet the doctor? And the person who is there in the reception counter or at the doctor's chamber gives the answer. He is in the general ward. So the first word is doctor, and the second word is general ward. Ward means a room where different kinds of patients are found. So it is a general ward. So it is a room for general patients, not for a special category of patients. So if you have heart problem, you will be in a separate room. If you have skin burns, you will be in a separate room. If you have tuberculosis, you will be in a separate room. It is a special ward, but this is a general ward. Then you find the doctor there. Doctor, what is wrong with my sister? So why did you meet the doctor? You met the doctor not for your personal problem. You met the doctor to talk something about your sister's problem. So your sister has some problem. She is suffering from fever or she is behaving in a strange manner. So you want to know from the doctor, doctor, what is wrong with my sister? Then the doctor says, She has high temperature. I want you to monitor her temperature. So the problem with your sister is she has high temperature. That is, her temperature is more than the normal temperature. Her body temperature is more than the normal temperature. So what is your duty? You have to monitor her temperature. You please be with her, supervise her, help her, check her body temperature at a regular intervals. That is a monitor. Monitor means find out whether the temperature is high or whether it has become low or whether it has become normal. That is your responsibility. So this is what the doctor advises the caretaker or the patient's sister or patient's brother. So this is how we have to use words. And the conversation continues. So she asks, how often should I check her temperature? Yes, I will monitor her temperature. Monitor means check. So how often should I check her temperature? After how many minutes or after how many hours? So doctor says once every 3 hours. So see whether her temperature has become normal or whether she is good or not by checking her temperature. That is, for every 3 hours, you check her body temperature. And what about diet? What diet should I give her? Only liquid diet. So you can see in the second slide, a cup with a liquid. It's like a porridge. It's like a broth. Javalaga unnadi. Or sabdani. Okay. Barley juice. It's soup. So you check her temperature. At the same time, give her only liquid diet. Don't give her solid diet. Don't give her any food because she cannot digest. So if you want her to come back to normal life, her temperature to become normal, give her liquid diet so that she can take it and digest. So these are the different words we used here. Words like check, temperature, diet, liquid diet. And another incident. So another person goes to the hospital and talks about his brother. So what happened to his brother? My brother died in an accident. So brother dashed against a car or a bike or some vehicle and died in an accident. So you go to the hospital. Why? To complete the formalities after the accident, after the person has died. So that formality is called post-mortem. So where do you go? You go to a room in the hospital, and that separate room is called post-mortem. Post-mortem means the people or hospital personnel who are going to check the body of the dead person to find out whether the person has died naturally or it is a forced death or it is an artificial death or it is a suicide or whether somebody poisoned him or something happened to him. To find out all these things, sometimes people ask to go for post-mortem to know the exact facts. So where is the post-mortem room? So hospital కి వెళ్ళి అడుగుతున్నాడు పోస్ట్ మార్టం గది ఎక్కడ అంటే శవ పరీక్ష చేసే గదిని ఏమంటాము పోస్ట్ మార్టం. సో అవసరమైతే పోస్ట్ మార్టం చేస్తారు, లేదు అంటే మామూలుగా మనం ఆ కార్యక్రమాలు చేసుకోవచ్చు. పోస్ట్ మార్టం రూమ్. సో where is the police report? It is with the medical officer. So when you go the post-mortem people or the personnel, they will ask you for police report because if it is not reported to the police station or if it is not entered in the FIR or in the police records, they will not take the body for post-mortem. So he says, it is with the medical officer. Already I gave the police report to the medical officer. So in the hospital, you find an officer, he is called a medical officer. Okay. That is, I came here, all documents. So some extra words here. That is death, accident, post-mortem, police report, medical officer. So these words are we use in relation to hospital. And next one. So another case. Can you direct me to vaccination room? That is, can you guide me to vaccination room? Or can you show me where the vaccination room is? So he's asking. It is a kind of a request. Okay, though it is the form of a question, it is a request. How do we request? So when we go to a place which is not familiar to us or which is new, we seek the help of someone. So how to seek the help? By making requests. So what is the statement here? What is the sentence here? Can you take me to vaccination room? Or can you show me where the vaccination room is? Vaccination అంటే టీకా ఇచ్చే గది. So in hospital, you have a separate room for these vaccinations, okay? Tika gadi. Sure, go straight and turn right. So when you make a request, the listener will also respond. So if you make a command, or if you speak in an arrogant way, or if you speak in an uncultured way, nobody will answer. But if you speak it in a polite manner, in a decent way, in a formal way, others will definitely help you. So what is the answer he receives? Sure, go straight and turn right. Okay, I can tell you, go straight and turn right. So he went to the vaccination room. Now he entered the vaccination room. And who is there? The doctor is there inside. Okay, you can find the vaccination room here. And the doctor or the compounder or the sister give him a vaccine. Doctor, I need vaccination. Here you are, take regular dose. So the patient or the person goes and requests a doctor for vaccination. Naku tika avasram. Now we are in a very tough situation. We are waiting for a vaccine. So that vaccine can be taken as a syrup or as a liquid or as a tablet, sometimes in the form of an injection. So everyone will go who is a bit doubtful, who is not confident. He will go to the hospital and take a vaccination. So doctor, generally sometimes vaccinations are given by doctors only. They will not ask the subordinates of other nurses or other people. They will give general injections, but special injections or special vaccinations will be injected by doctors themselves. So doctor, I need vaccination. And what did the doctor say? Yes, I will give you vaccination. So that kind of answer the doctor did not give. Simply she said, here you are. That is, take this vaccination. That is, I am going to give you vaccination. Instead of using all these sentences, we can simply say, here you are. So when somebody asks you something, you can say, here you are. So here you are అంటే ఇగో నువ్వు అడిగేది నీకు ఇస్తున్నా. Take regular dose. Regular dose means for each year or if after every 6 months, some time gap will be there. So the doctor says, don't forget to take these vaccinations regularly. Take regular dose. Dose ante quantity or the time. Regular dose means you have to take these vaccines at least for 5 years continuously. So after every year, come on the same day, or you can go to any hospital nearby, but don't forget to take the vaccination. That is, take regular dose. So this is what the doctor advises. So in this way, we have learned certain words related to hospital. We can learn more words, but these are some examples. But from this, with these examples, what I suggest is whenever we visit new places, keep it in mind that try to learn some new words, because every place gives its own words. It's a new experience. You can find words which we already know, or we can also find words which are new to us. So visiting also helps us in acquiring a language. We'll go to the next example, that is at college. And this is commonplace. As students, you regularly go to a place other than holidays, that is on normal working days, that is called a college. Or you go to a school, or you go to a university, that is center of education. and what kind of atmosphere you find in a college. And when you are new to the college, what kind of words you are supposed to use, or how to understand the speech of others, how to understand the other people. So these things we come across in the first few days of joining a college. And once we become familiar, we understand how to behave, we understand how to talk and respond. So here we find a conversation between two people. They are sitting on a bench on the lawns and talking with each other. I think they may be new, or one may be a junior, one may be a senior. So let's see the conversation. Hi, my name is Ashok. It's nice to meet you. So whenever we talk to a person, it's better we introduce the conversation with our words. So starts with us, starts with you. You have to introduce your name. So in the same way, this boy introduces himself. He says, hi. He was using the hi. He did not use good morning. He did not say namaskar. He says hi. Sometimes we can say hello. Hi, my name is Ashok. It's nice to meet you. So he tells his name and says that he felt happy. So it's nice to meet you. So whenever we meet a new person, we have to use these set of words, this kind of sentences. So the first sentence is, it's nice to meet you. That is, I am very happy to meet you. I am glad to meet you. I am excited to meet you. I am delighted to meet you. I am pleased to meet you. So number of things you can use, number of words we can use, but we should know at least certain basic structures, basic sentences. Whenever we meet a new person, we are supposed to use these kind of words. That is how to start a dialogue or how to start a conversation. And what does this listener say? What does the second person do? It's a pleasure to meet you. So you say that it's nice to meet you. And the second fellow says, it's a pleasure to meet you. That is, it's a privilege to meet you. It's a very happy situation. So I am delighted to meet you. So he says, it's a pleasure. నాకు చాలా ఆనందం కలిగిస్తున్నది. It's a pleasure to meet you. And who am I? I am Amit. First fellow says, my name is Ashok. And the second person says, I am Amit. He did not say, my name is Amit. So instead of saying, my name is Amit, we can say, I am Amit. Next, Ashok speaks. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? So you will be surprised why they are talking these kind of things, because they came to college for education, they are students, they are supposed to study. But here Ashok is asking about a living. What do you do for a living? So in foreign countries, they have a different style of living. So even while studying, they do some part-time jobs, okay, to earn some money for their livelihood, to support themselves. They don't entirely depend on their parents. But in India, we have a different situation where we depend on parents till we complete our education, sometimes even after getting a job. But in foreign countries, they have their own independent lifestyle. So therefore, though I used Indian words, Indian names, so this is a situation related to foreign countries. Sometimes in cities also we find the same kind of lifestyle. So what do you do for a living? And Amit says, I work at a restaurant. I work at a restaurant. So I work in a hotel. So for simple understanding, you can use the word hotel, or I work in a dhaba, or I work in a pub, or I work in a small canteen. So I work at a restaurant. That is, I work in a hotel for some time, for 3 hours or 4 hours after the study, after the college hours, because I need some money. And if I learn working, then I will get experience. After completion of my studies, I can easily get a good job. So doing work and studying, so part-time job. Next, in the same college or in a different college, a different kind of conversation or a situation. The first situation is it was a conversation between two friends, and here it is a conversation between students and the office people related to admissions. So the student asks, or the student talks to the person sitting on the counter. So what is the girl doing? Sir, I came for an admission. So why are you here? I came here to take an admission. I came here, or I came for an admission. Which group do you? So the office clerk asks, which group do you like? That is, you want to join which group? The girl says, or the student says, I want to join BCom General course. I want to join BCom General. Generally, in rural areas or in northern part of this country, people prefer joining BCom courses. Only science is a favorite course in South Indian or students of South India. But when you go to North India, generally people prefer commerce courses because they want to appear group services, so they want to become chartered accountants. Therefore, they prefer joining BCom courses. And the girl student says, I want to join BCom General course. And the office clerk, he may be a regular person or an outsourcing person. So he says, take this application and pay the fee at the counter. And the girl says, thank you, sir. So take this application and pay the fee at the counter. So if you want to join this college and this particular course, you can take this application, fill it, and pay fee at the counter. So take this application means simply you cannot take the application and submit at the counter without filling. So what does the statement mean? What is the hidden meaning? Take this application, read it, fill it, and then pay the fee at the counter. So the conversation is not elaborate. So the conversation is very brief. The statement is also brief, but it has its own meaning, and you are supposed to understand the meaning of it. And the girl says, thank you, sir. So when somebody helped you, or when somebody responded to your problem or addressed to your problem, so what is the minimum responsibility? You have to thank them. So she says, thank you, sir, because he is an employee working there. He is an office person. He is a new person. You cannot simply say thank you. Sometimes you can say, but the formal thing is thank you, sir. This is how the conversation goes on between a student and an office clerk, and the words we use whenever we are in college. So what kind of words we came across? Admission, group, course, join, application, pay, fee, counter, sir, thank you. So these are the set of words we come across whenever we college. Next, here we have another incident or another situation. Okay, so it may be a conversation between a student and a teacher, or both of them might be students. Hi, are you a fresher? So the first sentence makes it clear. Hi, are you a fresher? So here the boy asks whether the man is asking another person, are you a fresher? Fresher means did you join the college this year? Are you a junior? Okay, so probably the other person might be a senior. Yes, I joined BCom. So the boy says, I joined BCom. So it is very clear that he is a fresher and he joined in a course, and the name of the course is BCom. So in that way, they introduce themselves. So the junior and the senior. Now the senior says, let's go to the canteen. So we will continue our discussion, or we will try to learn about one another. Better we go to the canteen. Let's go to the canteen. That is, a canteen is a place where you talk to your friends, where you introduce yourself to new people, have a chit chat, have a casual talk, have an informal talk. So a friendly talk. Let's go to the canteen. There we can chit chat. So he says, why we should go to canteen? Because we can chit chat. Chit chat means have a casual talk. Sure, my name is Ajit. Wow, great name. I'm Amit. So the first person says, okay, sure, my name is Ajit. And the second person says, wow, great name. I'm Amit. So they introduce themselves with their names. One fellow says, I'm Ajit. Another person says, I'm Amit. So here also, we come across different words. Words like fresher, join, canteen, chit chat, wow, great name, sure. So sure, these things are common things, but these kind of words you come across in a college environment. And in the same college, a different situation. It is not between students, but it is between the officers or the employees working there. So the man goes there. May I come in, madam? He says, may I come in, madam? Yes. What can I do for you? I need some information about the faculty. Sure, we have qualified and experienced faculty at our college. So a person goes to college and he talks to the principal, maybe the head of the institution. Generally, he's supposed to go inside and talk, but they stand near the entrance of the chamber and the madam gives a reply, yes, what can I do for you? So if you want to go inside, you are supposed to take the permission. That is, you are supposed to make a request. And how the person is making the request? May I come in, madam? Shall I come in? Sometimes we say, excuse me, sir. Pardon me, sir. Shall I come in? So in the same way, may I come in, madam? Yes. What can I do for you? So, yes, you can come in. But what do you need or what help do you expect from me? What can I do for you? That is, how can I help you? I need some information about the faculty. So I came here not for an admission, not for a recommendation, not for a job, but I want the information about your college and your faculty. So what is the profile of your teachers? I would like to know the quality, qualifications of your teachers. I would like to know what kind of people work here. So sure, we have qualified and experienced faculty at our college. The madam says, principal says, sure, definitely I'm going to give you information. But in brief, we have qualified and experienced faculty. So the faculty working in my college are not only qualified, but they're experienced. So you can come in, I can give you details or in particular, or I can tell you the information in a detail. So these are the kind of words which we have come across when we go to a college. So depending on the situation, we can learn English vocabulary in a different way. So all these are common things, but we should know what kind of vocabulary we are supposed to use whenever we visit different places. Now we take one more example, that is at a shop. So we go to shop, and in our places we have small shops, kirana shops. Okay. But if you go to metropolitan cities, but if you go to big cities, you find a different kind of shops, malls. Okay. Uh, there you find even the customers making use of English. And if you go to a foreign country like England, you find a different atmosphere there. So whenever we go to places of this kind, we are supposed to use certain words. You are supposed to learn the manners of that particular place. You are supposed to use vocabulary related to these places. And these are general words. They are not something extraordinary, something new. They are general words. But we are supposed to know how to use these words. Yes, so this is a conversation between two people. Who they might be, one may be the customer and other may be the shopkeeper or the person working on the shop in the shop. Sir, what do you want to buy? So whenever we go to a shop, immediately the shopkeeper comes, receives the customer and asks him, sir, what do you want to buy? So what does it mean? Definitely he understands or he knows that the man has come to the shop to buy something. Because whenever we go to a particular place, we go there with some purpose. But in India, we find a different set of people. We go to some shops only for pastime, only to make pastime. But as a we do shopping as a pastime activity. We are not serious. We generally go there. So we say simply, I've come here to see the quality of things, to see the kind of things, whether I can buy certain things or not. So these kind of vague answers we give. But generally, if you go to a particular place, you go there with some purpose, with some seriousness. Therefore, the shopkeeper comes to the counter or the customer and says, "Sir, what do you want to buy?" So the customer says, "I have to buy many things, not one thing. I have to buy many things. Can we get all the things here?" So the owner says, shopkeeper says, "Yes, everything is available here." So in foreign countries, we call them as shopping malls or big shops. So there you can find all kinds of things. Even in our places, in Warangal and in Hyderabad, we have certain shops where you can buy a number of things. Once you go to the shop, you can do all kinds of shopping. You can buy vegetables, you can buy clothes, you can buy groceries, you can buy electronic gadgets, you can buy washing machines. All kinds of are available. Sometimes in big malls, you can buy even two-wheelers also. Vehicles also are available. So he says, can we get all things here? Can we means he's not talking about the owner. He's making can we means can I. So instead of saying I, can we get all things here? So is it possible to buy or purchase all kinds of things here? So the owner says, yes, everything is available here, from a small pin to a big vehicle, like that, from A to Z or A to Z. Next, another customer comes there. How much is this suitcase? So there we find dried vegetables in the same shop. And in the same shop, in another floor, we have a different set of items. So here you can find travel items, suitcase, briefcase, attaché, luggage. Okay. So how much is this suitcase? Suitcase is what? A kind of a bag with a handle and wheels where you can put your clothes and some files, or where you can take it for a 2 or 3 day travel. So how much is this suitcase? The owner says it comes to 1,000 rupees. It comes to 1,000 rupees. That is, the price of the suitcase is 1,000 rupees. So instead of saying the price is 1,000, he says it comes to 1,000 rupees. That is, you can buy this article for by paying an amount of 1,000 rupees. So the customer says, I'm afraid you're charging high. The customer says, I don't think the cost of this suitcase is 1,000 rupees. It may be around 600 or it may be around 700. So I'm afraid. I'm afraid means, oh, I'm surprised. I'm unable to believe. It's unbelievable because you are charging high. That is, you are mentioning the price a bit high. It may not be the exact price you are charging high. That is, the suitcase costs more. You are mentioning a high amount. No, madam, please take it for rupees 950. So he says, no, I'm not charging more. Okay, you can take it for rupees 950. Instead of 1,000, you pay me 50 rupees less. So this is how generally we negotiate whenever we go to a market or whenever we go to a shop. So here the conversation goes on between the customer and the owner. And a different a floor with different items. So here you find fruits, vegetables, and pulses or groceries. Are vegetables also available here? So here in this floor, I find suitcase, luggage, attaché, briefcase, a trunk box. And in the other floor, you have different types of items. So therefore, he or she asks, are vegetables also available here? Are vegetables available here? So can I get vegetables here? Vegetable market is just by the side. Vegetable market is just by the side. This arrangement is very nice. Yes, you can buy vegetables, but where are the vegetables? They are just by the side. Just to go to the next room or just to go to the next block. There you can find vegetables. So this arrangement is very nice because once you enter the building, you can buy all kinds of items. In one building, you can buy certain kind of things, and in other building, you can find other items which are related to domestic purpose, which we generally make use of in our daily activities at home. So this arrangement is very nice. So you have made a good arrangement. And I did not go to far off place. I did not go to another place. I can find all items in one place. What is the price of red gram? So then he asks, what is the price of red gram? So red gram is the name of a pulse. మనం పప్పులు వాడుతూ ఉంటాం మైసూరు పప్పు కందిపప్పు శనగపప్పు సో రెడ్ గ్రామ్ మైసూరు పప్పు it's now rupees 40 per kilo. So now you can buy this red gram for 40 rupees. So this is how we use words. And next one, in the same mall, you can also find books in one floor. For in the first slide, the person asks, can I purchase all kinds of things? So the owner says, you can buy all kinds of things here. All things are available. So therefore, you can find books in one floor. Are books also sold here? What books do you need? That is, yes, we sell books, but what kind of books do you need? I want some English novels. Book section is on the right side. Okay, I'll go there and purchase 2 good novels. So I want some English novels. That is, he is not asking for school books or college books. He wants to read general books of literature written by the writers for his own pastime activity or for his teaching. I want some English novels. So he says, book section is on the right side. Okay, I'll go there and purchase 2 good novels. So, and buy, he's not using the word buy. He says purchase because things which are valuable. So we have to use the word purchase. Sometimes things which are costly, we use the word purchase. At the same time, things which are valuable, that is, though they may not be costly, but they are valuable. So you can use the word purchase. So the owner says, okay, you can go there and purchase 2 good and purchase novels. I'll go there and purchase 2 good novels. So these are simple words, and these words they will be there, okay, on your in your mind. But the only thing is you don't want to make use of them. Those things will not come out at the exact point of time. And this becomes possible only when you practice. Practice, practice, practice. This is the key word. Okay, unless you practice something, you cannot become an expert in that particular field. Same with the conversation, same with the communication. మనం సంభాషణ చేయాలన్నా మాట్లాడాలన్నా మనకు పదాలు అవసరం, మనకు వాక్యాలు అవసరం. ఇవన్నీ మన మైండ్లో ఉంటాయి, ఎవరు వింటూ ఉంటాం, చదువుతూనే ఉంటాం, కానీ బయటికి రావు. కారణం ఏంటి? మనము వాటిని బయటికి తెచ్చే ప్రయత్నం చేయము. ఎందుకంటే మనకు భయము అనేది అడ్డు వస్తూ ఉంటుంది. ఏది మాట్లాడితే ఏమవుతుందో. People may laugh at me. People may make humorous statements. People will poke jokes at me. Okay? So this way you fear, you have some inhibition, you don't speak, you don't try to speak. But any language can be learned unless you make it as a habit of uh, speaking, unless you practice it, unless you try to put those words into practice. So to learn words, visiting different places is a very great resource. That is, generally we learn something by reading newspapers and by looking into the books and listening to news. But when you travel to a number of places also, you have the advantage of learning the new words or already words that are in use, but how to use them. So unless we visit, we do not learn. And these things are very common to all places. Okay, malls, they are available or you can find them in cities. But a college, a hospital, a bus station, okay, these things are common. And whenever you go to these places, you can easily learn these words, acquire these words. Nowadays, we have banks in each and every small village also. So you can learn number of words to that particular place. Only thing is you need to have interest, you need to have focus, you need to have the taste of learning. నేర్చుకోవాలనే ఆలోచన ఉండాలి, తపన ఉంటే ఏ భాష అయినా మనం నేర్చుకోగలం. So this is how we can acquire, we can get new words whenever we go to different places. So tomorrow we will see some more examples, and I think tomorrow we can conclude this topic. And in the next class, we'll start a new topic that is useful for us, mainly from the point of view of learning English, acquiring English. Textbooks, all these things are common. We learn, we study for the sake of examinations. But a language has to be used for communication. Unless we cannot use it for our livelihood, for our natural activities, or for our things which are related to our life outside the classroom world, it is of no use. So, if we cannot use our language for our daily purposes in a natural way, not in an artificial way, there's no meaning in learning a language, and you cannot be understood by others. You cannot sometimes become employable if you cannot speak properly or if you cannot express properly. So taking all these points into consideration, I thought these slides with a few words will be useful to you. Try to go through the video recording as and when you find some time, and discuss with your friends, communicate with your friends. Only when you talk, you will learn. Okay, with these few words, I say goodbye, and tomorrow we'll meet again.